Butterscotch tones spill across the wooden bench, warming the sleeves of your faded woolen coat. You point at the timetable nailed to the post, saying, looks like we missed the 11:10 coach. I smile and tell you there is another at 2, and neither of us seems to care what we lose. Years ago I would have paced on the stone, checking my wrist till the panic had grown. Now you just fold up your paper in 3 and tilt your gray hat as you listen to me. It takes 40 winners to learn how to wait without feeling cheated by someone else's clock. We trade our old secrets right through the iron gate, unbothered by schedules or latches that lock. The world keeps on running, but we let it slide, content with the stillness on this side of the ride. You tell me you used to stay up half the night, polishing copper and dreading mistakes. I laugh because yesterday I bought the wrong flower and simply ate biscuits that didn't quite bake. A stranger at noon becomes company soon, when pride isn't standing guard inside the room. A younger man dashes past, spilling his tea, cursing the second-hand, furious and blind. We share a quiet nod, gentle and free, remembering when we were trapped in that mind. There is so much mercy in letting things fall where gravity wants them, with no fuss at all. It takes 40 winners to learn how to wait without feeling cheated by someone else's clock. We trade our old secrets right through the iron gate, unbothered by schedules or latches that lock. The world keeps on running, but we let it slide, content with the stillness on this side of the ride. The bus rumbles up in a cloud of warm steam. You take the aisle seat and offer the view to travelers smiling at how easy it seems to let the day happen the way it wants to. Yesterday the grocer asked if I was in a rush. I told him nothing on my counter needed to be done. He laughed behind the parsley and he wiped away the dust, and neither of us hurried to catch up with anyone. The hallway clock is ticking in its steady wooden case. I used to match my breathing to the friction of the day. Now wool sweaters soften where the elbows used to bind. Unfinished mystery novels find a restful spot to stay. A stranger at the crosswalk gets a nod instead of speed, and silence at the table fills whatever words might need. The telephone can ring 5 times before I turn around. It used to make me scramble across the parquet floor. Old shoes hold the gravel without making any sound, and nobody keeps tally of who answered at the door. The kettle takes its minutes on the middle iron ring. I listen to the copper and I let the water play. There was a season where every hour demanded an excuse, a reason for sitting with folded hands and loose tea. The apron string unknots itself when tight things come undone, and comfort settles quietly where striving used to be. Now wool sweaters soften where the elbows used to bind. Unfinished mystery novels find a restful spot to stay. A stranger at the crosswalk gets a nod instead of speed, and silence at the table fills whatever words might need. Let the porch light flicker out when evening turns to blue. Yesterday was hurried, but today is gentle too. Delivery car rattles on the paving stones right below your window, right on time. You used to pace the kitchen just to check your phone, afraid to waste an hour of your prime. Now you set the kettle down and let it sing, unconcerned with missing any single thing. Remember how we braced for every sudden change, scared that growing quiet meant we would grow strange. Now you leave the front porch light turned off at 8, eating supper early from a mismatched plate. You say what you mean without rehearsing twice, passing up the drama for some calm advice. The world can't keep on rushing down the avenue, while the sweetest hours finally belong to you. used to keep a closet full of stiff lapels, shoes that pinched your heels until they bled. Now you walk the river path and know it well, choosing wool and walking boots instead. You do not apologize for turning in at 9 or leaving half a bottle of the dinner wine. All those heavy standards that we tried to meet slowly rolled away and scattered down the street. Now you leave the front porch light turned off at 8, eating supper early from a mismatched plate. You say what you mean without rehearsing twice, passing up the drama for some calm advice. The world can keep on rushing down the avenue, while the sweetest hours finally belong to you. We spent 40 years attempting to impress. Crowds will never notice when we did our best. Turns out peace is finding comfort in the small, realizing no one keeps a score at all. Now you leave the front porch light turned off at 8, eating supper from a mismatched plate. You say what you mean without rehearsing twice, passing up the drama for some calm advice. The world can keep on rushing down the avenue, while the sweetest hours finally belong to you. The cart rolls off along the cobblestone lane. We pour another cup and listen to the rain. Nothing left to prove, my friend, just an easy afternoon that does not have to end. Burnt toast and lemon wax drift down the hallway before Arthur finds his second woolen sock. He used to keep an eye on every ticking clock and apologize for walking in the slow way. Now he lets the kettle steam against the pane without a single urgent thought about the train. The telephone rings twice and settles down. He doesn't cross the rug to pick it up. There is no emergency in this quiet town, just lukewarm tea inside a chip blue cup. He used to carry every stranger's judgment like a stone. Now he wears his velvet slippers when he wanders into town. He leaves boring novels unfinished on the stand and tells the eager salesman that he doesn't understand. The older winters get, the lighter grows the coat, with nothing left to prove inside a thank you note. Wet wool and cedar shavings from the cedar chest. Greet him by the back door where the rain blows through. He used to dread the silence when the guests were through, and wonder if he'd passed another social test. Today he watches puddles gather on the stone, content to sit an hour completely on his own. He wears the faded sweater with the unstitched cuff and eats his supper right at 4 o'clock. The quiet of the afternoon is quiet enough to balance every tick against the grandfather clock. He used to carry every stranger's judgment like a stone. Now he wears his velvet slippers when he wanders into town. He leaves boring novels unfinished on the stand, and tells the eager salesman that he doesn't understand. The older winters get, the lighter grows the coat, with nothing left to prove inside a thank you note. It took 67 summers just to learn the simple art of letting conversations taper off without a fright. He doesn't need to win debates to keep a steady heart, or turn on every lamp to feel comfortable at night. The toast is slightly dark, but Arthur does not mind. He turns another page he might not ever read, leaving all the heavy hurry far behind, with nothing more than gentle time to lead. A sudden notion drops across the quiet front hall. Did I forget to worry or not care at all? The pendulum swings slowly on the walnut clock, while winter settles gently on the garden rock. I used to jump at every rattle on the floor. Now I don't even turn to check the heavy painted door. The black tea cools beside the windowsill. The bare magnolia branches are standing completely still. Once all the stillness felt like running out of line. Now it feels like resting at the border of design. We can leave the parlor books right where they chose to land, wearing faded woolen slippers without taking any grandstand. Nobody is coming to inspect the window pane or measure out the hours that we gather from the rain. The comfort settles in with slow and steady grace, softening every corner of an ordinary place. The hallway mirror caught me without my color neat. 30 winters back I would have hurried down the street. Now the glass just shows an old acquaintance in gray, who took half a lifetime learning there is nothing left to prove today. The iron radiator hums its one familiar tone, and peace is simply sitting in a parlor of your own. How noisy were the seasons spent, rehearsing for a crowd, speaking every small conviction much too loud. Now a gentle knotted silence clears the space between two chairs, and we let the evening shadows wander down the wooden stairs. We can leave the parlor books right where they chose to land, wearing faded woolen slippers without taking any grandstand. Nobody is coming to inspect the window pane or measure out the hours that we gather from the rain. The comfort settles in with slow and steady grace, softening every corner of an ordinary place. The grandfather chime strikes soft against the blue. We can sit here until 5 with nothing left to do. No rush to clear the saucer, no need to make a sign. Just the simple quiet that is finally mine. Whatever became of the tailor who repaired my winter coat in '79? He had ink on his knuckles and 2 pairs of spectacles hanging on string. Now the radiator clinks like a small friendly animal trapped in the wall. I used to dread quiet hours, thinking every silence had a debt to pay. The kettle sighs in a modest flat key. The yellow wallpaper peels where the plaster dried thin. I let the second thought drift away before it even starts. Soft cotton trousers replace the stiff collars that choked every formal affair. Nobody stands by the front garden gate asking why you have silver gray hair. I water the mint on the wide window ledge while the grandfather clock settles down. A gentler cadence arrives in the parlor when haste finally leaves the whole town. My sister once said that we ought to collect every coupon inside the Gazette. I wonder if she still keeps copper coins stacked in that tin on the stove. There is marmalade on my left cuff, but I see no good reason to scrub it right off. Dust motes turn slow in the draft from the hall, like dancers who forgot the tune. A heavy bus rumbles along the street curb. The ceiling is crack-shaped like maps of old towns. It feels very fine to know nothing at all about modern affairs. Soft cotton trousers replace the stiff collars that choked every formal affair. Nobody stands by the front garden gate asking why you have silver gray hair. I water the mint on the wide window ledge while the grandfather clock settles down. A gentler cadence arrives in the parlor when haste finally leaves the whole town. Younger days ran on a furious motor that burned every hour down to grease. Now sitting still with an unsharpened pencil is closer to something like peace. The postman walked by with an armful of flyers I will never bother to read. Where did that yellow receipt blow away to? It really makes no difference now. Just the cello on the wireless and a pot of lukewarm tea. The strip salt cellar sits beside the plate, a tiny crack along its glazed white rim. In younger years I would have found its mate, or thrown it out when color started dim. Now dust can settle where the light comes in, and silence does not feel like something wrong. I used to rush to answer every phone, afraid of falling far behind the crowd. Now sitting quietly feels sweet alone. No need to speak so heavy or so loud. The silverware no longer has to match. Old trousers fit much better than the new. The garden gate is easy on the latch, and what is left undone can wait for two. I let the afternoon unwind in peace, content with every gentle, slow release. A heavy wool pullover with a frayed right sleeve keeps out the winter chill better than before. There is no crowded room I hate to leave, no stranger's shadow waiting at the door. I speak in simple sentences and smile, content to watch the tea leaves slowly sink. Ambition was a coat 2 sizes tight, a noisy road I walked until my knees grew sore. Now evening settles into steady light, and I don't need to prove things anymore. The silverware no longer has to match. Old trousers fit much better than the new. The garden gate is easy on the latch, and what is left undone can wait for two. I let the afternoon unwind in peace, content with every gentle, slow release. Just this salt cellar lukewarm cup of tea. The world goes running on its noisy line, while simple hours stay right here with me. Rough-woven wool has given up its bite. The color frayed into a kinder shape. I rub the hem against the fading light, remembering when I worried how I'd drape. In formal rooms where posture felt like stone, afraid a crease would show I stood alone. The needle and the years work side by side to loosen every knot of foolish pride. I wore tight suits to prove that I was brave, and checked the glass for flaws I could not mend. Now simple flannel knows how to behave without a single stranger to defend. The mirror by the door is just for light, and every quiet evening turns out right. Back in November 1972, I starched my collar till my jaw would ache. I thought the world inspected what you grew, and tallied every blunder you could make. Now threads unravel freely at the wrist, and not a single deadline has been missed. The iron stays inside the closet bin. A softer rhythm welcomes winter in. I wore tight suits to prove that I was brave, and checked the glass for flaws I could not mend. Now simple flannel knows how to behave without a single stranger to defend. The mirror by the door is just for light, and every quiet evening turns out right. We spent our 30s measuring the hem, demanding corners stay precise and sharp. We lived to please the judgment of them, while stringing tensions on a fragile harp. It takes 4 decades just to realize the gentlest coat has outlived all the ties. The cuff rests soft upon the cedar arm. Old cloth and silence keep each other warm. Nobody asks me if the stitch is straight. the tea is steeped, and nothing is too late. Heavy oak presses deep into the rug. This armchair finally learned how to hold me. If I could slip a folded note into your coat, back when every crowded doorway made you lonely, I would tell you how the panic fades away, how nobody is tallying your blunders. You spent so long trying to belong, straining your neck just to catch the applause. Now the clock on the shelf is a friendly old song, and silence is sweeter than pleasing the crowd. You don't need a clever line to leave the room, or a grand excuse to turn the porch lamp out. The soup can simmer slow while elderberries bloom, and peace is what replaces all that frantic doubt. The shoulders drop, the kettle starts to sing, and growing older settles everything. Remember how you practiced each reply, afraid someone would see you had no plan. Now I let a foolish question drift right by, content to simply say I do not understand. The woolen socks are thick, the trousers loose and gray. We stopped competing with the person in the glass. All those fires you thought you had to fight were only tiny sparks upon the lawn. It turns out 7 quiet hours of sleep at night is richer than the hardest battle won. You don't need a clever line to leave the room, or a grand excuse to turn the porch lamp out. The soup can simmer slow while elderberries bloom, and peace is what replaces all that frantic doubt. The shoulders drop, the kettle starts to sing, and growing older settles everything. Sit back against the timber, young friend of mine. The wood will hold you steady every time.
Lost
ticking without a single thing to prove. I picture how the light will tilt and faint when neither of us feels the need to move. A future afternoon of yellowed pears, with wool socks folded on the cedar chest. The urgent errands will have blown away, like paper tickets from an older day. We will sit beside the cooling windowsill, listening to sparrows settle in the eaves, letting unanswered letters linger still underneath the drift of copper garden leaves. Glad that we outgrew the habit of the race, to find contentment in an ordinary place. I see us pouring cider from a jar, unbothered if the mantle gathers dust. We will not ask how many miles or far, or worry if the hinges show some rust. The telephone can ring against the wall. We will not hurry down the wooden hall. We will sit beside the cooling windowsill, listening to sparrows settle in the eaves, letting unanswered letters linger still underneath the drift of copper garden leaves. Glad that we outgrew the habit of the race, to find contentment in an ordinary place. Youth was a runner checking every train, afraid of standing empty on the track, while age looks gently through the window pane, without the slightest wish to bargain back. For on the dial will click to 5:30. The kettle sighs its easy, steady steam, a sweet and quiet way to be alive, just as we drew it in an earlier dream. An idle wonder cuts the parlor silence. Why did I ever raise the telephone? The hallway rug lies undisturbed and dry, while silver dust motes hover in the light. The tall grandfather clock forgets to strike, and there is no one left to steal the time. A velvet warmth surrounds the wooden frame as shadows stretch across the patterned floor. I used to rush to justify the day. Now I just pull the blanket to my knees. Nobody is timing the second cup. The kettle sighs in copper and in steam. Old arguments have faded into dust, and stillness does not need a single word. The world outside can hurry down the lane, while gentle patience settles in the frame. A sparrow lands upon the granite sill, its feathers puffed against the autumn breeze. I watch the garden gate swing half a pace, unbothered by the hinge that needs repair. 10 years ago I would have found the oil. Today I let the weathered cedar rest. The mellow notes of wind begin to blow through double glass that keeps the parlor warm. I do not have to conquer any room to feel that I belong inside the chair. Nobody is timing the second cup. The kettle sighs in copper and in steam. Old arguments have faded into dust, and stillness does not need a single word. The world outside can hurry down the lane, while gentle patience settles in the frame. The hurried younger ghost upon the stair has finally laid his frantic ledger down. He counted every failure in the dark, while all I count is tea leaves in the brown. The parlor dims as afternoon turns gray. The second cup is finished without haste. I lean back into cushions soft and deep, and let the quiet evening take its place. Bicycle bell rings twice down by the bakery wall. You set your reading spectacles upon the cloth. Remember when we used to sprint to answer every call, frightened of silence or of rough edges rubbing off. You just listen to the bell fade out across the street, resting your palms upon the armrest rest of the chair. We spent 40 seasons trying to be clever and loud, ironing every pleat before we stepped outdoors. Now you don't apologize for leaving parties before 9, or pouring simple tap water in the crystal stem. You tell the salesman plainly that you have changed your mind, without a single practice speech to pardon them. The heavy pride we carried gently came untied, and quietly made room for you to breathe inside. Look how the tea steams patiently between your hands. You never check the mental clock to gauge the hour. We used to govern days with impossible demands, treating each little compromise as losing power. It took half a century to finally understand that nobody is keeping score behind the door. We spent 40 seasons trying to be clever and loud, polishing copper kettles nobody would see. Now you don't apologize for leaving parties before 9, or pouring simple tap water in the crystal stem. You tell the salesman plainly that you have changed your mind, without a single practice speech to pardon them. The heavy pride we carried gently came untied, and quietly made room for you to breathe inside. There was a time a blunt refusal burned your tongue, like vinegar you swallow just to keep the grace. Now saying no is simpler than the songs we sung, a gentle brush that clears the clutter from your space. The bicycle is gone along the avenue. Put your feet upon the ottoman and stay a while. There is nothing pressing, nothing overdue, nothing sweeter than that easy, weathered smile. Crushed rosemary and rainy pavement drift across the gravel where Marian stops to breathe. She does not rush to lift the wooden latch, nor does she wonder what the neighbors see. Her coat is buttoned slightly out of line, a heavy wool from 1989. She used to check the mirror twice before the gate, terrified of being seen. 5 minutes She watches sparrows argue in the hedge and trims the quiet time along the edge. The years took away the frantic pace of pride, leaving room to let the kettle gently whistle. She speaks fewer words with nothing left to hide, walking soft among the clover and the thistle. Every small excuse she used to keep in store simply slipped outside and vanished through the door. The telephone can ring against the wall. She lets it chime until the wire goes still. No sudden panic answers to the call, no debt of haste she feels she must fulfill. She salts the broth by instinct, not by spoon, content to let the afternoon be afternoon. There was a younger woman in this hall who measured every step against the crowd. Now Marian needs no audience at all, finding peaceful grace in thinking clear out loud. The years took away the frantic pace of pride, leaving room to let the kettle gently whistle. She speaks fewer words with nothing left to hide, walking soft among the clover and the thistle. Every small excuse she used to keep in store simply slipped outside and vanished through the door. The rosemary stays fragrant in the chill. She takes her time across the gravel drive. The house is warm, the evening air is still, and Marian is glad to be alive. Butterscotch tones spill across the wooden bench, warming the sleeves of your faded woolen coat. You point at the timetable nailed to the post, saying, looks like we missed the 11:10 coach. I smile and tell you there is another at 2, and neither of us seems to care what we lose. Years ago I would have paced on the stone, checking my wrist till the panic had grown. Now you just fold up your paper in 3 and tilt your gray hat as you listen to me. It takes 40 winters to learn how to wait without feeling cheated by someone else's clock. We trade our by schedules or latches that lock. The world keeps on running, but we let it slide, content with the stillness on this side of the ride. You tell me you used to stay up half the night, polishing copper and dreading mistakes. I laugh because yesterday I bought the wrong flower and simply ate biscuits that didn't quite bake. A stranger at noon becomes company soon, when pride isn't standing guard inside the room. A younger man dashes past, spilling his tea, cursing the second-hand, furious and blind. We share a quiet nod, gentle and free, remembering when we were trapped in that mind. There is so much mercy in letting things fall where gravity wants them, with no fuss at all. It takes 40 winners to learn how to wait without feeling cheated by someone else's clock. We trade our old secrets right through the iron gate, unbothered by schedules or latches that lock. The world keeps on running, but we let it slide, content with the stillness on this side of the ride. The bus rumbles up in a cloud of warm steam. You take the aisle seat and offer the view to travelers smiling at how easy it seems to let the day happen the way it wants to. Yesterday the grocer asked if I was in a rush. I told him nothing on my counter needed to be done. He laughed behind the parsley and he wiped away the dust, and neither of us hurried to catch up with anyone. The hallway clock is ticking in its steady wooden case. I used to match my breathing to the friction of the day. Now wool sweaters soften where the elbows used to bind. Unfinished mystery novels find a restful spot to stay. A stranger at the crosswalk gets a nod instead of speed, and silence at the table fills whatever words might need. The telephone can ring 5 times before I turn around. It used to make me scramble across the parquet floor. Old shoes hold the gravel without making any sound, and nobody keeps tally of who answered at the door. The kettle takes its minutes on the middle iron ring. I listen to the copper and I let the water play. was a season where every hour demanded an excuse, a reason for sitting with folded hands and loose tea. The apron string unknots itself when tight things come undone, and comfort settles quietly where striving used to be. Now wool sweaters soften where the elbows used to bind. Unfinished mystery novels find a restful spot to stay. A stranger at the crosswalk gets a nod instead of speed, and silence at the table fills whatever words might need. Let the porch light flicker out when evening turns to blue. Yesterday was hurried, but today is gentle too. Delivery car rattles on the paving stones right below your window, right on time. You used to pace the kitchen just to check your phone, afraid to waste an hour of your prime. Now you set the kettle down and let it sing, unconcerned with missing any single thing. Remember how we braced for every sudden change, scared that growing quiet meant we would grow strange. Now you leave the front porch light turned off at 8, eating supper early from a mismatched plate. You say what you mean without rehearsing twice, passing up the drama for some calm advice. The world can't keep on rushing down the avenue, while the sweetest hours finally belong to you. You used to keep a closet full of stiff lapels, shoes that pinched your heels until they bled. Now you walk the river path and know it well, choosing wool and walking boots instead. You do not apologize for turning in at 9 or leaving half a bottle of the dinner wine. All those heavy standards that we tried to meet slowly rolled away and scattered down the street. Now you leave the front porch light turned off at 8, eating supper early from a mismatched plate. You say what you mean without rehearsing twice, passing up the drama for some calm advice. The world can't keep on rushing down the avenue, while the sweetest hours finally belong to you. We spent 40 years attempting to impress, crowds will never notice when we did our best. Turns out peace is finding comfort in the small, advice. The world can't keep on rushing down the avenue, while the sweetest hours finally belong to you. The cart rolls off along the cobblestone lane. We pour another cup and listen to the rain. Nothing left to prove, my friend. Just an easy afternoon that does not have to end. Burnt toast and lemon wax drift down the hallway before Arthur finds his second woolen sock. He used to keep an eye on every ticking clock and apologize for walking in the slow way. Now he lets the kettle steam against the pane without a single urgent thought about the train. The telephone rings twice and settles down. He doesn't cross the rug to pick it up. There is no emergency in this quiet town, just lukewarm tea inside a chipped blue cup. He used to carry every stranger's judgment like a stone. Now he wears his velvet slippers when he wanders into town. He leaves boring novels unfinished on the stand and tells the eager salesman that he doesn't understand. The older winters get, the lighter grows the coat, with nothing left to prove inside a thank you note. Wet wool and cedar shavings from the cedar chest greet him by the back door where the rain blows through. He used to dread the silence when the guests were through and wonder if he'd passed another social test. Today he watches puddles gather on the stone, content to sit an hour completely on his own. He wears the faded sweater with the unstitched cuff and eats his supper right at 4 o'clock. The quiet of the afternoon is quiet enough to balance every tick against the grandfather clock. He used to carry every stranger's judgment like a stone. Now he wears his velvet slippers when he wanders into town. He leaves boring novels unfinished on the stand and tells the eager salesman that he doesn't understand. The older winters get, the lighter grows the coat, with nothing left to prove inside a thank you note. It took 67 summers just to learn the simple art of letting conversations taper off without a fright. He doesn't need to win debates to keep a steady heart, or turn on every lamp to feel comfortable at night. The toast is slightly dark, but Arthur does not mind. He turns another page he might not ever read, leaving all the heavy hurry far behind, with nothing more than gentle time to lead. A sudden notion drops across the quiet front hall. Did I forget to worry or not care at all? The pendulum swings slowly on the walnut clock, while winter settles gently on the garden rock. I used to jump at every rattle on the floor. Now I don't even turn to check the heavy painted door. The black tea cools beside the windowsill. The bare magnolia branches are standing completely still. Once all the stillness felt like running out of line. Now it feels like resting at the border of design. We can leave the parlor books right where they chose to land, wearing faded woolen slippers without taking any grandstand. Nobody is coming to inspect the window pane or measure out the hours that we gather from the rain. The comfort settles in with slow and steady grace, softening every corner of an ordinary place. The hallway mirror caught me without my color neat. 30 winters back I would have hurried down the street. Now the glass just shows an old acquaintance in gray, who took half a lifetime learning there is nothing left to prove today. The iron radiator hums its one familiar tone, and peace is simply sitting in a parlor of your own. How noisy were the seasons spent rehearsing for a crowd, speaking every small conviction much too loud. Now a gentle knotted silence clears the space between two chairs, and we let the evening shadows wander down the wooden stairs. We can leave the parlor books right where they chose to land, wearing faded woolen slippers without taking any grandstand. Nobody is coming to inspect the window pane or measure out the hours that we gather from the rain. The comfort settles in with slow and steady grace, softening every corner of an ordinary place. The grandfather chime strikes soft against the blue. We can sit here until 5 with nothing left to do. No rush to clear the saucer, no need to make a sign. Just the simple quiet that is finally mine. Whatever became of the tailor who repaired my winter coat in '79? He had ink on his knuckles and 2 pairs of spectacles hanging on string. Now the radiator clinks like a small friendly animal trapped in the wall. I used to dread quiet hours, thinking every silence had a debt to pay. The kettle sighs in a modest flat key. The yellow wallpaper peels where the plaster dried thin. I let the second thought drift away before it even starts. Soft cotton trousers replace the stiff collars that choked every formal affair. Nobody stands by the front garden gate asking why you have silver gray hair. I water the mint on the wide window ledge while the grandfather clock settles down. A gentler cadence arrives in the parlor when haste finally leaves the whole town. My sister once said that we ought to collect every coupon inside the Gazette. I wonder if she still keeps copper coins stacked in that tin on the stove. There is marmalade on my left cuff, but I see no good reason to scrub it right off. Dust motes turn slow in the draft from the hall, like dancers who forgot the tune. A heavy bus rumbles along the street curb. The ceiling is crack-shaped like maps of old towns. It feels very fine to know nothing at all about modern affairs. Soft cotton trousers replace the stiff collars that choked every formal affair. Nobody stands by the front garden gate asking why you have silver gray hair. I water the mint on the wide window ledge while the grandfather clock settles down. A gentler cadence arrives in the parlor when haste finally leaves the whole town. Younger days ran on a furious motor that burned every hour down to grease. Now sitting still with an unsharpened pencil is closer to something like peace. The postman walked by with an armful of flyers I will never bother to read. Where did that yellow receipt blow away to? It really makes no difference now. Just the cello on the wireless and a pot of lukewarm tea. This chip salt cellar sits beside the plate, a tiny crack along its glazed white rim. In younger years I would have found its mate, or thrown it out when color started dim. Now dust can settle where the light comes in, and silence does not feel like something wrong. I used to rush to answer every phone, afraid of falling far behind the crowd. Now sitting quietly feels sweet alone. No need to speak so heavy or so loud. fit much better than the new. The garden gate is easy on the latch, and what is left undone can wait for two. I let the afternoon unwind in peace, content with every gentle, slow release. A heavy wool pullover with a frayed right sleeve keeps out the winter chill better than before. There is no crowded room I hate to leave, no stranger's shadow waiting at the door. I speak in simple sentences and smile, content to watch the tea leaves slowly sink. Ambition was a coat 2 sizes tight, a noisy road I walked until my knees grew sore. Now evening settles into steady light, and I don't need to prove things anymore. The silverware no longer has to match, old trousers fit much better than the new. The garden gate is easy on the latch, and what is left undone can wait for two. I let the afternoon unwind in peace, content with every gentle, slow release. Just this salt cellar resting on the pine, an unread book, a lukewarm cup of tea. The world goes running on its noisy line, while simple hours stay right here with me. Rough woven wool has given up its bite, the color frayed into a kinder shape. I rub the hem against the fading light, remembering when I worried how I'd drape. In formal rooms where posture felt like stone, afraid a crease would show I stood alone. The needle and the years work side by side to loosen every knot of foolish pride. I wore tight suits to prove that I was brave, and checked the glass for flaws I could not mend. Now simple flannel knows how to behave without a single stranger to defend. The mirror by the door is just for light, and every quiet evening turns out right. Back in November 1972, I starched my collar till my jaw would ache. I thought the world inspected what you grew, and tallied every blunder you could make. Now threads unravel freely at the wrist, and not a single deadline has been missed. The iron stays inside the closet bin. A softer rhythm welcomes winter in. I wore tight suits to prove that I was brave, and checked the glass for flaws I could not mend. Now simple flannel knows how to behave without a single stranger to defend. The mirror by the door is just for light, and every quiet evening turns out right. We spent our 30s measuring the hem, demanding corners stay precise and sharp. We lived to please the judgment of them, while stringing tensions on a fragile harp. It takes 4 decades just to realize the gentlest coat has outlived all the ties. The cuff rests soft upon the cedar arm. Old cloth and silence keep each other warm. Nobody asks me if the stitch is straight. The tea is steeped, and nothing is too late. Heavy oak presses deep into the rug. This armchair finally learned how to hold me. If I could slip a folded note into your coat, back when every crowded doorway made you lonely, I would tell you how the panic fades away, how nobody is tallying your blunders. You spent so long trying to belong, straining your neck just to catch the applause. Now the clock on the shelf is a friendly old song, and silence is sweeter than pleasing the crowd. You don't need a clever line to leave the room, or a grand excuse to turn the porch lamp out. The soup can simmer slow while elderberries bloom, and peace is what replaces all that frantic doubt. The shoulders drop, the kettle starts to sing, and growing older settles everything. Remember how you practiced each reply, afraid someone would see you had no plan. Now I let a foolish question drift right by, content to simply say I do not understand. The woolen socks are thick, trousers loose and gray. We stopped competing with the person in the glass. All those fires you thought you had to fight were only tiny sparks upon the lawn. It turns out 7 quiet hours of sleep at night is richer than the hardest battle won. You don't need a clever line to leave the room, or a grand excuse to turn the porch lamp out. The soup can simmer slow while elderberries bloom, and peace is what replaces all that frantic doubt. The shoulders drop, the kettle starts to sing, and growing older settles everything. Sit back against the timber, young friend of mine. The wood will hold you steady every time.
Lost his golden paint, ticking without a single thing to prove. I picture how the light will tilt and faint when neither of us feels the need to move. A future afternoon of yellowed pears, with wool socks folded on the cedar chest. The urgent errands will have blown away, like paper tickets from an older day. We will sit beside the cooling windowsill, listening to sparrows settle in the eaves, letting unanswered letters linger still underneath the drift of copper garden leaves. Glad that we outgrew the habit of the race, to find contentment in an ordinary place. I see us pouring cider from a jar, unbothered if the mantle gathers dust. We will not ask how many miles or far, or worry if the hinges show some rust. The telephone can ring against the wall. We will not hurry down the wooden hall. We will sit beside the cooling windowsill, listening to sparrows settle in the eaves, letting unanswered letters linger still underneath the drift of copper garden leaves. Glad that we outgrew the habit of the race, was a runner checking every train, afraid of standing empty on the track, while age looks gently through the window pane, without the slightest wish to bargain back. Four on the dial will click to 5:30. The kettle sighs its easy, steady steam, a sweet and quiet way to be alive, just as we drew it in an earlier dream. An idle wonder cuts the parlor silence. Why did I ever raise the telephone? The hallway rug lies undisturbed and dry, while silver dust motes hover in the light. The tall grandfather clock forgets to strike, and there is no one left to steal the time. A velvet warmth surrounds the wooden frame as shadows stretch across the patterned floor. I used to rush to justify the day. Now I just pull the blanket to my knees. Nobody is timing the second cup. The kettle sighs in copper and in steam. Old arguments have faded into dust, and stillness does not need a single word. The world outside can hurry down the lane, while gentle patience settles in the frame. A sparrow lands upon the granite sill, its feathers puffed against the autumn breeze. I watch the garden gate swing half a pace, unbothered by the hinge that needs repair. 10 years ago I would have found the oil. Today I let the weathered cedar rest. The mellow notes of wind begin to blow through double glass that keeps the parlor warm. I do not have to conquer any room to feel that I belong inside the chair. Nobody is timing the second cup. The kettle sighs in copper and in steam. Old arguments have faded into dust, and stillness does not need a single word. The world outside can hurry down the lane, while gentle patience settles in the frame. The hurried younger placed upon the stair has finally laid his frantic ledger down. He counted every failure in the dark, while all I count is tea leaves in the brown. The parlor dims as afternoon turns gray. The second cup is finished without haste. I lean back into cushions soft and deep, and let the quiet evening take its place. Bicycle bell rings twice down by the bakery wall. You set your reading spectacles upon the cloth. Remember when we used to sprint to answer every call, frightened of silence or of rough edges rubbing off. You just listen to the bell fade out across the street, resting your palms upon the armrest of the chair. We spent 40 seasons trying to be clever and loud, ironing every pleat before we stepped outdoors. Now you don't apologize for leaving parties before 9, or pouring simple tap water in the crystal stem. You tell the salesman plainly that you have changed your mind, without a single practice speech to pardon them. The heavy pride we carried gently came untied, and quietly made room for you to breathe inside. Look how the tea steams patiently between your hands. You never check the mantel clock to gauge the hour. We used to govern days with impossible demands, treating each little compromise as losing power. It took half a century to finally understand that nobody is keeping score behind the door. We spent 40 seasons trying to be clever and loud, polishing copper kettles nobody would see. Now you don't apologize for leaving parties before 9, or pouring simple tap water in the crystal stem. You tell the salesman plainly that you have changed your mind, without a single practice speech to pardon them. The heavy pride we carried gently came untied, and quietly made room for you to breathe inside. There was a time a blunt refusal burned your tongue, like vinegar you swallow just to keep the grace. Now saying no is simpler than the song. the gentle brush that clears the clutter from your space. The bicycle is gone along the avenue. Put your feet upon the ottoman and stay a while. There is nothing pressing, nothing overdue, nothing sweeter than that easy, weathered smile.
Crushed rosemary and rainy pavement drift across the gravel where Marian stops to breathe. She does not rush to lift the wooden latch, nor does she wonder what the neighbors see. Her coat is buttoned slightly out of line, a heavy wool from 1989. She used to check the mirror twice before the gate, terrified of being seen 5 minutes late. Now she watches sparrows argue in the hedge and trims the quiet time along the edge. The years took away the frantic pace of pride, leaving room to let the kettle gently whistle. She speaks fewer words with nothing left to hide, walking soft among the clover and the thistle. Every small excuse she used to keep in store simply slipped outside and vanished through the door. The telephone can ring against the wall. She lets it chime until the wire goes still. No sudden panic answers to the call, no debt of haste she feels she must fulfill. She salts the broth by instinct, not by spoon, content to let the afternoon be afternoon. There was a younger woman in this hall who measured every step against the crowd. Now Marian needs no audience at all, finding peaceful grace in thinking clear out loud. The years took away the frantic pace of pride, leaving room to let the kettle gently whistle. She speaks fewer words with nothing left to hide, walking soft among the clover and the thistle. Every small excuse she used to keep in store simply slipped outside and vanished through the door. The rosemary stays fragrant in the chill. She takes her time across the gravel drive,
just glad to be alive.